Hey guys, I am DJ Legion from Audio Waves Academy, and if this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is all about helping you master the art of music production and sound engineering. Today I am breaking down my simple 7-step mastering formula that it can really transform weak, lifeless mixes into pro-level masters. And it is no complicated tricks, just practical steps that get real results. Let's dive in. Before we even touch plugins, we need to find the loudest part of the track. This is where we are going to set our levels, because if this section is balanced, the rest of the song will also fall into place. For example, right now you have the intro. And then here on the 9 we have the verse. And then we have the chorus. So how do you find it? It is really simple. You're going to listen to the chorus or the drop. In most tracks, that's the loudest part. And you can see also here from the waveform that this part is the heaviest from your whole track. And now that you have the loudest part, you are going to loop it. This lets you focus on making changes without constantly jumping around the track. Now let's go on to step 2. Step 2 is gain staging. Now that you have found the loudest part, we need to create headroom for mastering. If your track, for example, like this one here, he's already picking like minus 0.4, but you can go and fix it. You can go here and choose a waveform, and in Logic you can go and use the gain tool here, and you can go and bring it down, or you can go and choose this tool here, the gain tool, and you can go and do the same thing as you did here. So my goal here is to go and get at minus 6 dB. So right now we are hitting, I'm at minus 7.7. Let's go and bring it back a little bit. Okay, now we have much more headroom to work on. Really important to mention is that you can go and use the gain tool, but I have seen also like some people going and just turning down the fader, which is wrong. This is not going to help because you want to fix the amplitude. Yeah, okay, you might think that you are hitting much lower dBs here, but still every plugin that you are going to add, it will push it further into clipping, so you are still not getting the best result. In case you are wanting by 6 dB headroom, this gives plugins room to work without unwanted distortion. So, plus, when you mix into the limiter, you already have a control starting point. Now the third step, EQ. We are going to use EQ to clean up the mix. We are going to choose, first of all, the linear phase, because we are dealing with the mastering. So we don't want to introduce any phasing issues. And when I start, I always do this. I do a low cut at 24 dB here, and I cut always below 20 Hz because these frequencies are inaudible, but it can really take up a lot of headroom. I also add another EQ here, but this time I'm going to choose again the low cut, and I'm going to use only the side. Why I do this? Because I wanted to separate the stereo section from the mono section on the low frequencies, because I want there to have like the main focus to be the drums, the kick, and the subs. So that's why I'm going to use this one on 100 Hz. But as I said, this is my way of working. I have seen some other people that go like 150. Some other people suggest like 75. So my goal always is at 100 Hz, and the curve here is going to be again at 24. This is a really nice way to ensure that all your bottom end, your low end there is going to be bottom end, okay. All your low end there is going to be in mono. These are just some small adjustments that you are not going to hear, but it will help the track a lot. In addition, you can go and do some findings here, some resonances. For example, let's go and find one. This one here, for example, let's go and find another one. Okay, Okay, I don't want to spend a lot of time here. Let's go and choose this one. And I'm going to use only the dynamic EQ just a little bit. We are not going to attenuate a lot. We want to attenuate only just a little bit. So if I go and open here, our goal, we are attenuating at minus 2 dB, somewhere there. If you think that your track needs more EQ adjustments, I have a video dedicated about using the FabFilter Pro Q4 for mastering. Check it out here. Now let's go on the next step, which is going to be the compression. And we are going to use the compression to control and glue. We are going to use two different stages of compression. On the first stage, we are going to control the peaks. Right now, if I go and open here a bit, by the way, I'm not just posting the waveform. This is the feature from Logic that it makes it a bit visible, easier for you to see what is going on the waveform. Let's go and take this one out. You are going to see that we have a lot of peaks here. So let's go and bring it back again. And that's why we are going to use the Pro C2 here. And I just want to take out the auto gain, really fast attack, fast release, get the threshold at 0 at the beginning. And my go-to when I want to use this technique is to have a ratio at 10:1 and a really hard knee. Our goal here with these settings is to tame the peaks from the drums, because right now it's a kick when it hits. My goal here is to get like minus 3 dB reduction, and we're not doing any gain. You can also go and play with the different algorithms here. Most of the times I get a really great result when I hit pumping. You can hear right away that now we have much more control on the kick. You see this waveform here that happens, this big nibble, and then it disappears. This is how you can go and use this plugin to tame the transients. The second stage of compression, we are going to use again the Pro C2, and this time I'm going to do a really quick release, slow attack here, medium attack, and this time the ratio is going to be at 2:1. Let's go and bring back the threshold, and my goal here is to have a minus 2 dB reduction. The reason for the 2:1 ratio is because I just want to glue the mix. And let's add also some gain. If you hear closely, you are going to hear that the mix now stays controlled, but it doesn't lose energy, and that's the goal. By the way, if you're enjoying this content and you want more easy to follow tips, hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week to help you improve your sound. Now let's go on the next step, which is going to be adding harmonics with saturation. Instead of using an equalizer and boosting some frequencies, I prefer most of the times, and I mentioned that always, like, this is my way of working, I prefer adding harmonics with saturation. This gives the master a little bit more depth without making it sound like really artificial. For this purpose, I'm going to use the Black Box Analogs design from Plugin Alliance, and this is one of my favorite plugins, to say the truth. And if I go and disable, have a listen. it makes the sound much bigger. And the only thing that I did here is I just went on Pen Ode, I think it is pronounced. I just inserted also a bit of saturation. But you can use also some other saturations, and you can search for tube saturation or tape saturation. If you are overdoing it, it can really crash transients and muddy the mix. Now the next step is going to be clipping. With the clipping, we are preparing the track for the limiter. The clipping controls the peaks before limiting. It is making the final stage a little bit more smoother. For this purpose, I'm just going to use the standard clip here, and let's go and bring it back on 0. Now we are seeing some small peaks there, and if I go and use the clip here, by the way, I always have the oversampling at 16. There are also some other options. You can use the Soft Clip Classic or the Pro. Most of the times at the beginning stage when I am producing, because I don't want to drive the limiter really hard, I will just use the Soft Clip Classic. But when I'm going to use the final stage of clipping before the master, I'm just going to use the hard clip. Now let's go and tame a little bit here the transients. If you listen carefully, you're going to hear that when I overdo it, it becomes really distorted. Clipping is a little bit matter of a taste, in my opinion. You can go and tame just a little bit, but if you want to have a really loud master, you can go and clip a little bit more, like I did here. And now, for example, we have this waveform that comes after that we did some clipping. There's a big difference, right? You have much more control there. So you can go and leave it like this. And now let's go on the final step, which is going to be the limiter. For this purpose, I'm going to use the FabFilter Filter Pro L2. And right now we are hitting minus 18.2 LUFS somewhere there, and we have a lot of headroom to work on. So my go-to settings here are, I'll just go and enable the true peak limiting, and if you have a really good computer and it can handle it, I would just go and use a 16 oversampling here. And at the output level, if I will just go and select minus 0.1. Some other also suggest that you can go and do the -1. It's also some possibility, but I love to go and push the limiter at its loudest point without distorting. So I'll just go here, and I don't want to dive in right now on the look ahead, on the attack, or the release. I will just leave it like it is. And my goal here, it depends also on the genre. Some tracks might need a bit more loudness. For example, if you have an EDM track or this hip hop, you can go and push a bit like -8. Let's go and have a listen if we can achieve this. So right now we are hitting at -8.5. To say the truth, I always, when I use the limiter, I tend to not have more like -4 dBs here reduction. But this track is much more bass heavy because we have the 808 and the kick hitting at the exact same time. That's why you might have a little bit difficult here to push it harder. And by the way, 8.5 is also already really loud. In my opinion right now, it sounds much more consistent on the whole package of the track. And let's have a listen how the final results also sounds without the limiting here. So right now you're just going to hear what this section does. It's day-night, right? You can hear right away that there is a big difference. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I wanted to show you that it really matters to have a good demo. It will help you hear the final result in context while you are also producing. If you want to send it to a client, it sounds much more professional in comparison with what you heard earlier. And this takes like not so much time. You can go also and test it on speakers, headphones, or even if in your phone. And if it sounds good everywhere, you have nailed it. In my opinion, you can go and save, for example, let's say this preset, this master chain here, and you can go and adjust it on different bits that you are going to use later. Because okay, it is pretty normal that you're not going to use the same adjustments, the same settings on every bit. And that's it. This is a simple 7-step mastering chain that works on any genre, but as we already mentioned, with some small adjustments, of course. Now you have a repeatable process that takes the guesswork out of mastering. And if you want to see a breakdown of my favorite EQ plugin for mastering, check out this video here. There, I break down how to get a nice sound with only one plugin. See you there.